These are our basket presses. White wine with the grapes and the juice go into the press. The lid is closed. The large rubber diaphragms inside are inflated, and all the juice is pressed out. Then the juice is immediately pumped into a tank, and at that point we start the fermentation by adding yeast and some nutrients, and the fermentation begins. Right now we have various wines and various stages of fermentation and production and settling in these tanks. This metal-looking surface you see around here is to keep everything cold and keep from losing too much of our coolness from radiation. And that keeps the wine cool and minimizes any bacterial overgrowth. And I think it's one of the reasons why our wines have been such high quality and have won over 30 national and international awards over the past few years. When we have to cold stabilize a wine, like a white wine, we have to get the temperature down almost to 25 degrees, just above the freezing point of wine. And to do that, we have a glycol cooler, which pumps very cold glycol to all the tanks and keeps it extremely cold, allowing the tartaric acid crystals to precipitate to the bottom of the tank. This is our Italian plate and frame wine filter. And we take our wines through this filter at least 3 times even before we begin to start to bottle. And that takes out all the impurities and makes sure that by the time we go to bottling we have a very clean wine. Now, let's go over to the bottling area. Let me show you some fun stuff.
He said we have 7 snowmobiles. He said the big fire.
This is the bottling area. One of the most important parts of bottling is do a final filtration. If you look on the wall, you see 2 metal cylinders, the tops of them. These are millipore filters that actually filter the wine down to the point where there is nothing less in there that's larger than 0.4 microns. Now, a red blood cell is 6 microns, so we filter it down to a point where anything that's 1/24th the size of a red blood cell gets filtered out. So we're filtering out viruses, any possible bacteria, which we know then will have our wines extremely clean and virtually sterile when we move into the actual bottling process. This is the bottling room itself, where wine will go through the carousel and will then be filled. It will be corked in this semi-automatic corker and will then come out to be labeled at a later time. The labeling is done a little bit later rather than at the same time of bottling. Here's a completely clear bottle of Riesling Chardonnay. We put it on the semi-automatic labeler, activate it, and then a front and back Mountain Spirit Winery label goes on. The Mountain Spirit Winery label itself has won an international gold medal for its design. We think it's very beautiful and is certainly a unique label. Once we've bottled and labeled the wine, it then sits in this area, in the storage area, to settle and to get a little bottle age. Bottling ages the wine much more quickly than in the barrel or in the tank. When we then think it's ready for distribution, we put it out first to our wine club members and then to the public for consumption. We hope you've enjoyed this short tour of Mountain Spirit Winery, that you'll come to us in person so we can take you on a much longer personal tour and let you taste some of our award-winning premium Colorado wines. Thanks very much for joining us.